Do you have a right to speak about someone's sexuality, or in this case, gender? That's what we'll get into in this video because I want to look at the situation we have going on that is a transatlantic situation because Brigitte Macron, Emmanuel Macron's wife, sitting president, Emmanuel Macron, is suing Candace Owens over in the United States. So this is going over the Pacific Ocean. So it concerns all of us because, as we know, the relationship between Europe and the US is always a very important one, and not just politically, but also in general, trade-wise, economically, and also from a social point of view. So this is rather big. I'm sure you've heard about it, and I really want to look into the ethical sort of side of it. I want to consider questions like, do we have a right to do that? And why do we have a right to do that? For those of you who don't know Candace Owen, she's classified to be a right-wing journalist and mom. She has 3 or 4 kids, I believe. She has studied journalism, and she makes videos on things, on truthful matters that want to be hidden from us. At one point, we're being brainwashed by stuff that isn't true. I'm a big supporter of hers. I'm not a type of person to be a fan of someone, but I do think she's brilliant and she's doing amazing work. So we'll look into her work a little bit, but mostly in this video, I do want to talk about the claims that are out there that she's defaming someone, because by her saying that Brigitte Macron, and that's the whole point of the video, used to be a man, we could go, well, why is she concerned by that? Like, what's Candace's right to even talk about that or even bring it up? Doesn't she have enough work with her 4 kids and whatever else she's doing? Like, why do we need to dig deep into someone's private life? And here I want to go give my opinion too, because of course, Emmanuel Macron, he's a president of a very influential country, which is France, or used to be very influential. It's probably on the downward spiral, the country, as are many other former superpowers of this planet. We'll see what happens next. No hard feelings against anyone, but yeah, as we know, France is an important country. So yes, he is a public figure. He is someone who people know and who has a lot of power, to the point where when he got wind of what Candace was talking about, which is his wife, he called President Trump, or called him, or asked him when he saw him personally, and asked him kindly to please make sure that Candace would please shut up. Right? So Candace then did really get that phone call from President Trump where he goes, please, could you just please tune it down, and turn it off, because this president over here from France, I need him as an ally. It's about the war in Russia. He doesn't agree to end it unless you shut up, basically, which is huge, right? So this is where all this comes into play. Like, Macron is a public figure, and what they have been telling the people, like society, as a couple, is a huge love story of like, Brigitte got to know him when he was 14. She was his teacher. She had 3 kids already. She was divorced, but then she fell for this 14-year-old boy and just couldn't hold back and just had all these feelings. And soon after, he told her, I will marry you. You will see. I will marry you. I will end up marrying you. And that's exactly what happened. The two of them came together and lived happily ever after. And in the process, they became Mr. and Mrs. President of France. Like, it couldn't go any better for them, right? That's the story they sold us, and people were making articles about how huge the age difference is, of like 24 years, I believe it is, and all that. But no one was ever really digging into their past or if it all adds up, because according to Candace Owens, There are huge gaps where they can't really prove what happened. It doesn't really add up. I don't want to get into details here. I just simply want to address the subject that when you are a public figure, of course, people are going to look into your private life as well. You are a public figure. And if you would treat your sort of dirty little secret humbly, and you would just say, hey, no one, this is none of your business, and this is a personal choice I made, and this is how I went about it, then that's one thing. But as Candace started digging, things came out, right? So it's about more than just a gender choice. It's about more than I used to be a man and now I want to be a woman and I do adaptive surgery and all is well. There is much more to it. And from me speaking about it, I'm sure you can hear that I have no doubt in my mind that Brigitte used to be a man, namely her brother, right? She used to be a man and then sort of adopted his sister's identity. And I believed this before I even heard that Candace was looking into the subject, right? I heard it before that already. Then I saw all the videos she did, and it's just very, very obvious that that's what happened. And again, there are sinister reasons why that happened, and there are things attached to that choice that we don't know right now, but that is coming out. And this is a channel about truth, and that's why I'm making this video. First of all, in my great support of Candace, she is right on what she dug up, and there is much more to be unveiled. But my point is just, it's not an American thing to like blast out truths and to not respect someone's privacy. Yes, they are louder over there, right? They are less discreet in many ways. They call the things what they are, right? They call the body parts that I don't do on this channel. They just are a little bit louder and more obnoxious overall. We all do agree, nothing against you Americans. I used to live there for a year. I have family there, nothing against us. But compared to Europeans, we're a little bit more calmer and discreet and like, hey, this is a private matter, but not in this case. Again, there's political issues attached to it. There's huge political decisions attached to it. And now Brigitte suing Candace, it will only make it all go bigger and get bigger. And you will hear about it if you want to or not. I just wanted to give my point of view. If you're a public figure, you can't hide anything, and you can't persecute people and have them go away, unalive them, as the English-speaking communities say. You can't unalive people, because that's exactly what happened. Journalists that were investigated in France, like Xavier Broussard is like the leading head of all this movement, but there were other journalists before that got unalived and that were like died in mysterious circumstances. And then it becomes a problem, right? And we know many politicians with blood on their hands, blood trails behind them, like many people dying in their lives, in their surroundings, in many different occasions. I don't want to get into it right now, but I just want to say the truth is coming out on every level. So stay tuned as we cover this, and much love to you. Bye.